Evening, everybody. I want to start the joint meeting today. We have a joint meeting with the Park and Recreation Commission. It's August 25th, 2015, Ojai Chambers, Ojai City Hall. And I'm trying to get used to this new technology that's in front of me. I have electronic agenda, so bear with me tonight. Could I have a roll call for City Council?
Councilmember Wyrick?
Here.
Councilmember Haney?
Here.
Councilmember Clapp?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Blatz?
Here.
Mayor Laura?
Here. Could I have roll call for Park and Recreation Commission?
Chair Rylander?
Here.
Vice Chair Ittner?
Here.
Commissioner Dutter?
Here.
Commissioner Ford?
Here.
Commissioner Firestone?
Here.
Commissioner Roddick is absent. Thank you.
And could Chair Rylander lead us to a Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For our workshop today, we're gonna start off with the recap. So we're gonna start off with the PowerPoint that Chair Rylander is gonna lead, and I'm gonna turn it over to Chair Rylander, and she's gonna lead the meeting from here on out until we have a discussion. I'm excited to hear what went on this year. So.
Yeah. So I thought we'd start with a PowerPoint of basically a year in review of what's been going on with the Parks and Recreation Commission and the Recreation Department, because there's been a lot of really good stuff. I'm going to go through, there's actually a lot of slides, and we could be here all night, so I'm going to swiftly move through, so chime in if I start talking too long or taking too long, for that matter. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask, and also if any of the commissioners want to add anything to what we're gonna go through. First, I want to say thank you for tonight, because it's always nice for us to get together. You know, it's once a year, but it's good to touch base with you guys and get your feedback. And at the end of the PowerPoint, we'll have discussion, and also Sage will be going through the CIP and look at future projects and stuff, budget, and talk about some good news. So basically, I kind of wanted to start with this photo is funny, but and unfortunately we're missing some people, and I wanted to just kind of acknowledge all the commissioners. We've had some leave this year. You know, Randy is a councilman, and we've added Adam Dutter and Ryan Firestone, which are new. He's new to the community and new to the commission, so we're very grateful for that. Youth Commissioner Austin Becker has also moved on off to college, and I want to acknowledge he's been a great youth commissioner, very active and participated in all the meetings. So we are looking for another one, so putting that out there. If you have a high school student in the Ojai Valley, not necessarily in a public school here, that's open. So I just want to throw that out there, because I know that's been open for a while. One of the best things we did this year, just kidding, this was important, but I wanted to put this in here because it's important and part of the process. And one of the things we do as commissioners was obviously ethics and government training and other trainings that the city puts together for us. So that's something that we attended. Recreation staff. Basically, we have an incredible staff. Steve McCleary and Softcleese lead, the team at the Recreation Center, and I want to acknowledge that. Allison is kind of amazing. She's really helped with social media, and Vicki as well as a professional photographer, that they've brought skills to the team that aren't necessarily job requirements, but have enhanced the program immensely, and I want to acknowledge that. And you'll see, all the photos, and we'll go through some of the marketing efforts that have happened this year that I think have ended up helping us with the numbers that Sage will go through, which are very nice. And then you have amazing seasonal employees like Vicki and Christy, and just want to acknowledge that. And Trevor is new as well. So just want to take time because I have photos of them as well. So just in case those in TV land have not met them, but you see them at the grocery store, there's Steve. Sophocles, just trying to embarrass everyone, just kidding. But Vicky, who's run our gymnastics program for years, Christy, Caitlin, and Trevor. So, these are the people that are representing our Parks and Recreation Department. Couple successful new programs this year. Basically, I did sort of a high level talking about some of the higher new programs that we had, and the wilderness program has been very successful. 4 weeks camp with a total of 44 participants and really great feedback. And then cooking, which is really cool, that just started, and they were actually using the snack bar that hasn't been in operation for years. So it's a great way to use a facility we already have and introduce a new program. So, and obviously the classes are diverse, boys and girls, and it's been a great opportunity for everyone. Program highlights are our gymnastics program. So I'm going to go through the top programs that we have right now as far as participation. Gymnastics, 232 participants, which is huge. The team will start competition season back up in fall, but this is our number one highest participation, which has longevity. It's been that way for a long time, but when we get to the CIP, you'll notice that we've finally asked Vicki if she needs anything. She has always been very self-sufficient, and the parents have always basically fundraised for anything they've needed, and we really feel that maybe the parents should fundraise for trips that they take and things like that. They've always sort of bought their own equipment. Not everything, but we're at a point where I think we really need to help them. So, and Vicki has a wish list on there, so I'd like to talk about that. CrossFit is another one of the top programs, and if you take a look at this photo, it speaks loudly. There's no shade. It's a concrete block. There's lighting stuck on the wall. This is one of those things that we need to support as well. So, but great program. I don't think they care as much as I do, because they're out there, they're doing it in the heat and having a good time, and it's one of our top programs. Horsemanship, this is another successful program that moved over to Rice Road, and they had a 7-week program with 35 participants.
And I think that's Councilman Wyrick's granddaughter.
Oh, really? Nice.
The helmet on down there.
It's Nola.
How cute. Yeah. That's so
Yeah, she
sweet.
looks like a Wyrick lady.
And I know Melissa's been running this program for years as well, but another great successful program. And the surf camp. Who doesn't want to learn how to surf, especially when it's 110 in Ojai? And the kids have loved this, and it's, again, another one of the top programs during the summer. 4 weeks, 13 kids each week, and they have a lot of fun. I love the photos. They're having a good time. And day camp, that's huge. That's really been something that's grown this year. It's open from 7:30 to 6 every day. This meets parents' needs in the community. We really don't have any other program like this. That, for summer, people needing to work and knowing their kids are in a safe and healthy environment. And 50 to 70 kids are coming through the door every day. So that's a lot, so. And so these are some of the fun photos from the camp. They did they went to the police station and got to go in the police car, and just tons of field trips. I love her face. She's just having a good time. Just lots of great activities all day. Drop-in program participation tracking. So these are the total numbers of individuals that participate in the 4, 6, 8, and 10-week classes. If you look from July to June, you can see total participants, 5,362. And this is something that we talked a lot over the years about, bringing in yoga, things that people maybe don't want to commit to, a month's worth of classes, but they can come when they need to. And you can also see Tai Chi, and the Adult League has really grown. A couple other, they've all done well. Dodgeball for the kids is another one that's really picked up again.
Sonny,
Question?
what's the parents where they drop their kids off?
Could you
I'm
turn
gonna
on
talk
your
about
mic?
that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was on. Where the parents drop the kids off, was it date night?
It's date night. I'm going to talk about that
Oh,
too.
okay. Great.
I don't have any photos, but just imagine happy parents out on the town. just visualize. So you can, I just go back to this, but this is just an example of the drop-in class schedule and the fees for that. But it's been really good. So, and there's always opportunities to add to this, and Soft Cleese and the team have really been looking at, Allison in particular, looking at what makes sense, you know, certain times of the year, when it's summer, when it's fall, when kids are out, when they're not, you know, as far as movie nights and stuff. But definitely date night every Friday night could happen. No, I'm just kidding. The aquatics program at Villanova has been amazing, and very grateful that they let us use the facilities. It's a beautiful facility. Adult basketball, you know, just a lot of good stuff going on. Teen and middle school programming is something we've talked about for a long time, and really looking at that need in the community. Dodgeball was brought back, and Allison, I know, worked on making sure that it was the first and third, so there was a consistent date and time for parents, because there was some inconsistency. So that's completely consistent, has tons of kids showing up, 21 usually per night, which is a great, I think, another great opportunity for kids on a Friday night, something to do at that age level. And there's some teen movie nights that they've tried, and then also the summer dances, which we did in the summer, that I think will be much better in the fall just because the kids are gone. So we'll try that again in the fall, and I'll be looking at when there's opportunities when the schools aren't having dances and stuff like that. So just more just good stuff for that teen middle school age. Parents' night out, Mandy's favorite. This is something we talked about a while ago as well, and these guys tried it, and I happen to know someone that at work that moved here a week ago, bought a home in Ojai, and they took 2 summer classes with their children for the day camp, saw the flyer, and after experiencing such a great day camp experience, they totally trusted, I mean, moving here from across the country and not knowing anyone, to bring their kids and have a much needed date night, or unpacking night, maybe it was. It's been successful, and for $10 for pizza, popcorn, and a movie, and the comfort of knowing your kids are having a good time is priceless. These are pictures of a lot of the other programs. Guitar, ballet, flag football, flamingo dancing. I want to do that. Okay. Basketball, and again, flag football, and some just fun stuff in the gym with the gymnastics team. So something that we've been working on for a couple years, and I think between Steve and Soft Cleese and again, the recreation team and the commission, kind of looking at all the opportunities. We have the activity guide. I'm going to kind of go through each one of these. I think what we did was we sort of actually looked beyond the activity guide. For years, it was just sort of the one way to communicate with the community, and maybe a postcard here and there. But now, looking at social media and other ways of marketing and getting out to the public. So the activity guide is basically, there's 3 activity guides per year, and basically almost 8,000 are brought out through the year. Postcards. This was sort of new, and the last year, I'd say they're larger, and they go out to the community just as a little update about what's going on with programs, or any updates we need to let people know. And then the survey is another way that there's a flyer, and then there's the actual community park survey that is out right now that I think we provided you one tonight to take, because we'll need to get those in fairly soon, and that goes along with the Sarasota Park master plan. But that's, again, another outreach. The school flyers, which we've always done that as well, and there's various ones per programs. Facebook. So that would be, I think this would be one of the most, one of the ones that's really reached out, and I think the team has worked on. When they started this, they barely had a couple likes on there, but this is a great opportunity to get face-to-face and show with the photography and the photos, and show actually what's going on in there, and letting parents see on a day-to-day basis their children, and getting updates on things coming up, not wasting paper, and people are checking it all the time. But just between January and now, they've already grown by 175 likes. And it's interesting, the demographics is women between 25 to 44 making up about 50% of the followers. So there's, it's just good to know who's out there and how you can market to that and what the information they might be seeking. So, and then the most popular post that was made was Rebecca Burgess and her coach at the state championships. And she came and spoke at one of our commission meetings, which was really nice. So, and the other one, Instagram, they just started this. And I think this, again, you're going to reach a younger market with the Instagram and get the kids in there and get them, so they know what's going on. The recreation website being updated was very helpful. And I happen to go on there all the time, but another way of communicating. And then Ojai Recreation Open House. This was our second one. And I think they just kind of keep getting better and better. It went very seamlessly. And I like the fact that day they had $1,300 worth of registrations processed. So people came, had a really good time, and they signed up for programming. So, and here's some photos from that day. I think it's something that the kids and the parents look forward to every year, if we can keep doing that every year. It's a free family event. And then Ojai Day, another outreach, we had the booths. I don't know who that guy is. No, I'm just kidding. There's Randy.
Right there.
That's a campaign.
And then...
Let's capture that shot. Let's do something.
And then just some of the booths that we had around on Ojai Day, from the children's area to the teen area. And then CrossFit had their booth, and there were some demonstrations as well. So we were definitely out there, and so I had to put this in there, of course, because this is the age group that I'm near and dear to. But the Ojai Skate Contest on Ojai Day, we've had this for several years, and we had the highest number. We had 115 entries and 4 sessions for youth and adults. We had a lot of kids skating, and it was, I feel like it was successful, and everyone had a really good time, and very generous donors. But that's a group of kids I happen to know that all participated in Parks and Rec when they were little, but don't now, that get to come and recreate. So on to some of our most exciting things going on right now is our Sarasota Master Plan, and thank you for the approval for the funds to do this. The city is updating Sarasota Master Plan, and we'll have a consultant and community outreach meeting on this Saturday, August 29th from 1 to 3 at the Boyd Center at Sarasota Park. Free childcare is provided, and if you guys can fill in your survey tonight, anyone can go online as well and fill that out, because we need the public's input on what they would like that park to be in the future, not just really looking at the park holistically, the entire space, and not just sort of band-aiding it over the years, looking at what's needed and what the community would like to see there. We've heard things over the years, and some of the things in the CIP we've kind of put on hold while we wait for this, so that we don't go and put something in that could possibly be something else in the future. So it's really important that the public lets us know, because this is your park. Other than Libby, this is the second, biggest park.
I like the free childcare. I think that's a great.
Isn't that great?
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
And again, this is the flyer, so hopefully you guys can all come out, and if by chance you can't, definitely fill out the survey, because they'll take that all into consideration. And Libby Park Community Build Project. This is very exciting, and again, thank you for the funding and approval to get this started, because this is a huge project. And Steve and Greg have been working on this since day one, and making sure that all the commissions are involved in the process, which has been really helpful. I think the SAGE was really adamant about getting everyone from day one as part of it, so that you're not coming in halfway through, you're in it from the beginning, and everyone is participating, and it's been really nice. Working on everything from the community design workshop, and the consultants going to Topa Topa, and talking to the kids and finding out what they want at the playground. What features, what do you want to see? What do you want to play on? What kind of park do you want? That was a really great community meeting, and then being a part of the whole process is, personally, I've enjoyed being on the steering committee, and I know everyone else has. I know all the commissioners have been on a lot of separate meetings to kind of make this happen, to guide it along with Steve and Greg, and I think this is going to be one of the most amazing projects in
This picture
Ojai.
shows a lot of Lions Club people. We've had
Yeah.
great support from the Lions Club, and they have been just excellent.
And Rotary as well.
Yeah.
So it's the type of project that is going to take the whole community, but we are looking for volunteers, and at the same time, I feel like we're not going to have a problem finding volunteers, because this is such a cool project that everyone's going to come out, but we do have opportunities for people to sign up. Lots of opportunities. So I'll go through some of those, but it's been really interesting. It's been a really great project, and I think that we stayed true to the beautiful space that Libby Park is, and building something that would complement the park, and the kids obviously having a great time, but also not building some crazy thing there, but fun. Yeah. So I think people would be very happy when it's done. So these flyers are out there. They're also at the park. So if you want to, I'm going to go through a couple ways of helping and volunteering. Anyone can help, and there's so many different ways to help. So it's not just a physical build. It's everything from food to childcare to. So there's skilled construction labor that's helpful. Lions Club is running all that. So you have, a crew. Go ahead.
Well, the signups, you can go through the recreation department,
Could
and
you speak in the mic?
Sorry. The recreation webpage will channel you to the Lions Club, and the Lions Club is collecting everybody's names, and then they'll be setting up the volunteer shifts, and they've taken that on. But the labor on the site, part of it's skilled labor, but almost anybody can come out and do something. You
Up
could
to
be
12 years of age.
14 years, 14 years or older to be on the site, but all adults. I mean, you don't have to be able to use a drill or do any of that kind of stuff. There's going to be all different kinds of jobs. And so we're looking for lots of volunteers.
Yeah, so the general label, the food prep, childcare, first aid, setup, cleanup. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Just wanted to add a quick thing for those who might be thinking about volunteering. We are working to set up some childcare at Sarzati Park so folks can drop off their children while they're volunteering at the Libby Park.
And that'll be run by rec staff.
That'll be done
So
by
that'll be
our
managed and
accredited rec
supervised by
staff, correct.
So they'll be taking care of it, yeah.
That's great.
That's a great thing to say. And then it's probably a good time to plug our meeting on September 2nd at the Women's Club as an opportunity to find out more about the project and come sign up to volunteer. It'll be from 6:30 to 7:30 at the Women's Club, and you can come in and sign up for shifts and pick out some jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's.
There it is, yeah.
But we might have forgot something, because there's 3 shifts, so there's so many opportunities to help, and yeah, you
The
kind
bill
of covered
dates are-
almost all that.
Yeah, the bill dates are October 6th through October 11th. There'll be 3 shifts a day. And, we'll need over 300 volunteers to fill all those shifts. Hopefully, some people will come and volunteer for more than one shift. If people during the week can do it for a whole day, we love to see that. But there'll be lots and lots of opportunities. It sounds like it's so much fun. The other communities that have done it have really enjoyed the process. So it's a little bit like a barn raising.
Yeah,
Everybody comes out.
exactly.
It's a very well-organized barn raising. The consultants do a great job of setting it up to move really smoothly, and people have jobs right away when they get there, and it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and they have over 20 years' experience doing this, so this isn't their first playground, so I
No.
think it'll move,
No,
it'll
first
be
rodeo.
smooth, and also, it'll be done right before Ojai Day, so that'll be nice.
And everything's, no surprises so far,
No.
we're on schedule.
We're good,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
we're good.
The orders are in, the materials are going to be on their way, but, yeah, so sign up is also up there. It's at OhioValleyLionsClub.com. It's right on the very first page you get to. It's very easy to sign up, so.
And then as far as donations, if you would like to donate, there's going to be several opportunities. You can go to the Facebook page that Allison has started for that, and I'll show you the name of that. But there's also other ways. I know that Mac and the volunteer team have been working on, there'll be bricks that, here it is. I'm sorry. Did you want to go back?
Back up on that. I noticed real briefly that there's an ADA compliant swing is something that needs to be donated. That's interesting to me. Is the rest of the park ADA compliant, and there's just not a swing that's ADA
There's a couple
compliant?
extra playground fixtures that are ADA. They are ADA, like the swing. There's also the one that goes around and around.
I think portions of, go ahead, Steve. You can
Yeah,
address this.
I'm not a complete ADA expert on this, but part of to meet ADA is that the site and the playground has to be accessible.
Right.
The equipment itself doesn't necessarily have to all be, ADA compliant. You need to be able to, if you're a caregiver, be able to get your child, so that you
To
can
and from the
access to
facility.
and from the facility and to and from the equipment.
Another real brief question. Do you know how much the ADA compliant swing costs?
It's on our list.
Is
here.
it on this list?
Yes,
about-
we have a pick list, I think, that it's on.
Yeah, I don't see it on here.
40,
It's the Big O swing.
50.
The Big O swing.
Yes, under school-aged area, $6,500.
$6,500.
And then some of the other things that are ADA compliant is there is even in the regular swings, there's a swing with a hard seat that has something that comes down the front that makes that one an ADA compliant
And that
swing.
automatically comes with the swing set? Or is that something that's additional as well?
It comes with the swings.
It's additional as
It's
well, but it's
additional.
included in our budget.
That's included,
Yeah.
but this one isn't included.
They're all included, but we need to fundraise some more money to meet the,
The additional 40,000 you need?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
so you could look at it as one item, or you
Right.
could look at it as, we need this much more money to complete the design that we have.
The council could conceivably consider designated a $6,500 portion of that budget go to that specific swing, could we not? Could we not?
Yeah.
Could we? We could?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
No, good questions. And we do have a breakdown, when you get into the donations, there's a breakdown of all the equipment and everything. So I don't feel like I'm doing this justice. So as far as donations, there's opportunities to purchase the bricks.
The brick is made of recycled, it's the recycled plastic brick, and it'll be engraved, and you can put 3 lines on there, and there's 2 different sizes. There is a 4x8 that's $250, and then there's an 8x8 for $500.
And this will be a pathway to the playground.
And if anyone's interested in purchasing a brick or donating to get a brick, that will be on the Ojai Recreation Department webpage. There's a PDF with a form, and it'll give you all the instructions on where to send your check or how to give money through PayPal. And so the PayPal will be a location where you can buy your bricks and put your, give money there, but it's also a location where if someone just wants to come and donate $10, absolutely welcome to do that, and we're looking for any kind of donation that anyone would like to make, so.
And
And
the-
then
oh,
the
go ahead.
third item is
The naming.
a naming for you can buy, we have a list of different components and their costs, and if someone would like to purchase one of those, we can put a plaque on there. We're going to have a plaque wall for people who do that.
One other real quick question about donations. Does PayPal have a nonprofit exemption from their percentage that they charge for a donation for the use of the PayPal website?
I'm not sure,
They
Allison, do
charge
you know
a
that?
percentage.
They do.
They do charge
Yeah.
a percentage.
They do.
I don't
So
know.
people need to be aware of that if they
You
want to
can-
donate, that if they would prefer having 100% of it go to the city, they should do it directly to the city, not through PayPal.
Right, and the bricks.
Rotary as well.
Right, the bricks
Or
are,
Rotary,
the
yeah.
bricks are going to Rotary. Those checks will be written out to Rotary, and Rotary's going to collect the money and
Okay.
do the purchase, but.
Okay.
But if they would like to directly donate and not do a brick and just give cash, a check to the city would be fine and what it's for.
Okay, thanks.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good questions. That's kind of everything that I have. I want to pass it off to, do you guys have any more questions before I pass it off to Sage? But Sage was going to go through the CIP and kind of talk about our wish list.
So, yeah, using the term CIP is a complicated term, but what we'll start
Yeah.
off with is looking at the revenues, the transfer out that we had, that were the revenues beyond our expenses that we've had over the last few years. So you'll look at 12-13, we had $45,219 in revenues that were beyond our expenses. And then in 13-14, it was $58,185. And this year, it's $115,550. We've been very successful. The marketing, the programs, new programs, it's been a wonderful year. So that staff has done a great job, and that's a pretty amazing number. It has a forecast for next year, but those aren't real numbers, so. But then the next page, if you flip over, does anybody want to talk about that, or are there questions? That's just a recap, but it's really good.
I just had one question.
Yeah.
Your transfer out is money going back.
You want to turn on your mic?
The transfer out is money being transferred back to the general fund? Is that what I'm hearing?
No.
So-
The money's being transferred to the capital improvement.
To the capital improvement?
Right.
Okay, directly to that fund. Okay.
That's why it's so exciting.
And good,
Thank
and
you.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Good.
pretty
But it's
incredible.
but that's a very good point to make. Thank you, Randy.
I just want,
No, you wanted to clarify, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
we
That's
appreciate
kind of
that.
my thinking on the $6,500 Bigos thing.
And then what you have on the next page is the adopted 15-16 and the 16-17 CIP, which I think I think you've all seen before, probably relatively recently. But if you flip to the next page, this is a slightly different document. This is something that we've been working on with our commission. It says capital improvement projects recommended by Parks and Recreation Commission. And some of these are different than what you'll see on your adopted list of CIP projects for 15, 16, and 16, 17. And it goes out even farther. Really, this is after our commission has had discussions. The page, we didn't include that one page. We have a capital improvements list that we have formed over the years of things that aren't on the capital improvements plan, but there are additional projects that we would like to see happen. So I just wanted to highlight the things that are on here that you might not have seen that we have talked about now, So one of them was Libby Park water element. We can just go down the list. The gymnastics equipment is new. We haven't had a line item for that before, because as Sunday pointed out, almost all of their equipment is paid for by donations by the kids that are participating, which is wonderful, but some of those are pretty big ticket items, and they do have, what you were highlighting is that they have travel expenses that aren't covered, that everyone has to pay for themselves to go and stuff like that, coaching staff and various things. So it might be nice to participate in replacing the equipment with such a really robust program. Then the skate park lights is a project that's been on the books, and it's been approved, but it wasn't anything that the city has ever allocated any funds toward, and the commission would like to find $20,000 to allocate toward that project to support it, because from a commission standpoint, it creates a lot of capacity in an already really, the skate park's already really popular, and it gets a lot of use, and the lights would just extend its use and create a lot more recreation opportunity. So that's not something that's on, go ahead, Steve.
I just want to clarify for the council members and for the folks listening home that the whole cost of the project is estimated to be at least $60,000. So
Right.
the thinking of the commission was that they wanted to support about a third of that cost.
Right, thank you. So it's not the complete cost. And then staying in 15-16, workout shade, it's a small project. That was what Sunday was talking about over the CrossFit area, is to somehow come up with, there's been some temporary structures put up, but it really needs to have a permanent solution for shade over the CrossFit area, so to be, like on days today. Boyd Courtyard Shade is not something that's been on any of the plans, I don't think, formally. It's if you're between the gym and the main rec building, there's a courtyard out there, which just looks like empty space, but actually it's programmed a lot. And if we could add shade to that, it adds a whole new area for them to program, and it will allow them to add more programs to the lineup. So it's one of those that it doesn't sound like much, but the small project would increase capacity out there and the usability of an area right now that they use little bits of, but only certain times of the year because it's too hot. So that one was one that we wanted to prioritize. So that was 15-16. Clearly, this is just us taking a stab at it, so I'm just going to go through it so you're aware of what we were thinking about. So for 16-17, like the lights at the skate park, the bike park is something that's come up that isn't that far down the path, but as our commission has talked about it and as it's come up, we as a commission definitely see the value in having a bike park and that there definitely is a need for it and would like to budget money to support that. Not the full cost, but what we put in here was $40,000, some portion of what it would cost to get the project done. And so that was added to the priorities. Let's see, so 17, 18, ball fields maintenance. It's been on and off the list, but it hasn't been on the formal CIP. The ball fields, they really just need to be redone. There's drainage issues, some of which have been fixed, but others haven't. It needs to be, and I'm not a ball field expert, but it basically needs to be, I think, taken down, regraded. Steve, if you want to speak to this, but it needs, they need to be spruced up and redone.
And our
so-
usage is up a lot.
Yes,
for
and
that
with the
area.
softball usage coming up and the leagues coming back at night, it's something that we'd like to see done.
It's a fairly sophisticated process with, lasers and everything to get everything leveled and correct, but you pretty much explained it.
Okay. 18, 19, gym, sand, and refinish the floor. I think we were saying like every 10 years, it's something that really needs to be done. We refinish it every few years in a limited capacity, but this would really be taking it down and refinishing it formally and grinding it down and doing all the work instead of just the light. We keep it running each year by going and doing maintenance, but this would literally improve the quality of it, and it needs to be done, I think, was it every 10 years or so?
Yeah, I think that's the recommendation.
Okay.
Depends on your use and volume.
And then Parks Master Plan has been on there, and I think we're working on Sarzodi, but I think that there's always the goal that we'd like to look at the whole of our system and all that we have and all that we serve and do it, a slightly bigger, not a park by park view, but of the whole park system. So that's on there. Hopefully we'll get there. And then the last one is Sarzodi Playground, which actually is on your CIP for 18-19. And, but that's not your adopted CIP, but it's on the projection of your long-term CP. It's already on there, but I think I just wanted to make sure that it's out there, that it's on the list and that we support that, and we're looking forward to that project coming up too. Though, talking about it right now seems a little, whew. Get done with Libby and then talk about it, but we want to make sure that it's on the radar for everybody and that we see it on the horizon, because it definitely needs to be done. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sunday, you might know the answer to this. How much money did the skate park people, the public, through fundraising, put towards the construction of the skate park?
It was, $260,000. The city put in $100,000.
The city put in $100,000. Okay. And that's it. Thank you.
Just for clarity, so you're asking the fiscal year 15-16, this includes this fiscal year when we're on right now, right?
It's what we talked about. I mean, these are things we'd like to see done sooner than later, but Steve, if you want to answer this.
Well, part of it is we've been kind of waiting to see how things shook out from last fiscal year, and then I think we need to have a discussion both at the staff level and with the commission, and then maybe take a recommendation to city council in terms of what we do with those surplus funds, because that might be a way to address some of these specific needs.
And I would support that, clearly support that. And if we could get that done as soon as possible, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean bring it to councilors, support this recommendation, or what?
To look at the surplus and see what the best options are in looking
Yeah.
at this list.
So have
Yeah.
staff look at it,
Yeah.
bring it to the commission, and
Yeah,
then bring it
that'd
to
be
you.
great.
As soon as
Okay.
possible.
All right.
Yeah,
That would
thank
be
you.
great.
I think we've looked at this over and over and over, so we've narrowed it down, so it's pretty tight.
I gotta say that the difference in this recreation department from when I first came on council and today is, it's you guys have really,
Well,
wow.
we are so lucky to have a great staff right now.
And a great commission.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, the
each-
change has just been, don't you agree, Randy?
And every new hire that they've
Night
made has
and
bought.
day compared to, it's so vibrant now, and it was really a dying program, and
But the hires have been great that they've made.
Yeah,
There's such a
yeah.
pool of talent in that building now, and that's wonderful. It creates the
Yeah.
energy.
yeah, it does. I can see it, I can feel it. It's been really nice to see. We gotta keep our youth moving.
Well, I also have to appreciate that we're reinvesting.
Yeah.
And that isn't something that was happening before. There's capital investment from council and back into the system, and that really makes a difference. That hadn't been happening before, so that's a thank you to council and to staff at looking forward and putting the money there and keeping it there.
Well, you're certainly welcome, and I think it's really important that we keep our youth moving and get them out from behind their screens,
Off their
and
duffs.
interacting away from electronic just getting out and being healthy. It's just, and also the programs for the adults too are really, have been really successful, and I like seeing that.
Councilmember Wyrick?
I say this in the absolute most positive way, but it does seem that you are, in effect, becoming the Ojai Valley Recreation Department, not just the City of Ojai Recreation Department. You serve the children of the entire valley, which is wonderful. It's a great thing, okay? But I'm wondering if you can give us any sense of what those proportions are. I mean, how much are you drawing in terms of proportions of, do you have any sense of that?
Well, Sunday had a
for the
good
valley
number.
as a whole? And this is a
Yeah.
great thing. I'm not saying it in any bad way at all.
Sunday had a good number in here
You know.
that we didn't talk about that showed usage.
Yeah, and the participation.
based
I thought
on
actually
inside and
the
outside.
city
It was-
youth had increased versus
Internally to
outside,
the city,
yes.
exactly. I
Yes.
think what we've
Wonderful.
really done is the portion
Yeah.
of kids inside the city limits is increased.
That's fantastic.
So,
Okay.
but
But it's nothing wrong with serving the children of the
Yeah, so
Ojai
it's
Valley.
out of city 1,936 and in city 3,426.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
don't, those numbers have changed because.
Yeah,
well,
they used to be.
Historically, we didn't have great numbers.
Right.
But, so we were guessing, but now that we have good numbers, that's still changed. It's progressively been more kids in city.
Which
it-
always brings, do you mind?
No.
Which always brings up the question we've had for years and years and years. At what point will we be able to go into a recreation district?
Right.
And at what point will the electorate be willing to vote yes on it? And that's a very, you have to really decide at what point you reach out to the public to do that.
How do we incorporate that into really long-run master planning?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking it way out there, but at least you got to start at some point.
Because we all know we want a pool, and
And-
there's only one way to do that, is to expand into a valley-wide district.
And part of that, I just want to get my other question in, is at some point, as part of the planning or part of the communication to council, could you identify where the physical constraints on the current facilities are stopping growth?
Oh, yes.
You know, like how many more softball leagues could we have if we had more fields? Those
Or how many
kinds of
programs
things.
could we run if we didn't have
Yeah.
one tiny room?
Right, in other words, what?
And we have
yeah,
the, you know,
what-
gym from
some
the
kind of a
1950s.
sense of how much,
This is the master planning, though.
yes.
Because that's a capacity study, and we
And I
know
would lo- I
we know
would-
what we do, but
Yeah.
we don't know what we could
Okay.
do if we had more. But yeah,
But before we get around to a formal capacity study, if you could, in any way possible, I would like personally as a council person to get any anecdotal communication you have, just to get a sense of this kind
well,
of
hopefully out of the
situation.
Sarzodi master planning, though it's a Sarzodi master plan, as
Yeah.
we're doing this planning, the hope and communication with the consultant all along was,
Mm-hmm.
we really want to know what people want for the whole of our park system.
Right.
So we're starting at that level with the meeting with the public, so hopefully lots
Mm-hmm.
of people from the public will come and share what it is they want and what they like in the system. And so when we get done with that survey and that public meeting, we will come out of there hopefully with an understanding of what we're doing, but what we're not doing.
What we could be.
And what
we
we
already
could be doing.
And we already know that our gym doesn't meet our needs. I mean, we are making it work. We have a
But
gymnasium with
the more
the,
you could identify
Yeah.
these things so the rest of us can understand, the better. I think
a good
it'd be
point.
really
So
good.
I'd like to, I think this is a great time to chime in on that. With that information, you know, we've got the silent park in the system,
Right.
and that's Soul Park.
Exactly.
With additional softball fields, with your
What I was
riding
thinking.
program enhancing, they have the stables. I mean, there's so many things that facility offers, that in the past, I know that we've been hesitant to even thinking about trying to take it over from the county, which, my interaction with the county, I don't think they'd be opposed to it. Yeah, but.
Please, they would
But
say, please.
it would just behoove us if we knew these additional areas that we would like to enhance our recreation programming, and then that might be the fit to plug that facility in. So I think now is a good time to throw that into the mix and think about it.
I agree. And after Councilmember Clapp makes her comment or question, I want to invite the other commissioner and
Yeah.
maybe Mayor Pro Tem Platts if he has any comments, because we are getting to the end of our meeting. Councilmember
That
Clapp?
being said, Randy, one of the things with that is to see if we took on that burden, whether we have the revenue to support it with the increased usage of it through recreation programs. So, yeah, and that's part of the whole.
That
master
is the
plan thing.
information that I was looking at.
Exactly.
and more open space.
Some of that will come out of the master plan. Those facilities we can't, because we're going to come up with all the facilities people want, and we know we can't fit them all in Sarzodi Park. Right. So that information, as it comes back, we will share that and see where we go.
Any other, yeah,
have
Mayor
one
Pro Tem
question.
Platts.
Is there any kind of a
numbers that you put together on how many people are turned away because the program can't support any more people?
That's a good question, Paul.
That's a good question.
It's a great question, but.
Yeah, I know we certainly run into that during the summer camps. They do fill up, so I know that would be one area. If Mr. Kotsis were here, he might be able to rattle off some anecdotal or more firm numbers on you, but we'd be happy to do a little research on that and bring it back to the commission and council.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from other commissioners? Any?
Rookie.
No?
Can I
Yeah.
share one more thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
One of the things that's not on any of these documents that you've seen, but it comes up at every meeting, is a pool, a community pool. It comes up very regularly. And Adam, go ahead and speak if you want to say something about that.
Yeah, ever since I've got on the commission, I've been harping on a pool. That's just kind of one of my things.
Good for you.
Exactly.
Harp away.
But you can see even in the participation numbers, I mean, in the summertime where we use the Villanova pool, I mean, participation is huge. It's one of the biggest money makers. It's one of the biggest participation. And I think we're going to learn a lot with the Sarasota Master Plan Survey. I think hopefully if people participate in the community, it's going to tell us not just a pool, but everything else we need. I think Councilmember Clapp is correct. We all know we want a pool. We all know we need a pool. It's been going on since I think I was 5 years old. We've had the same talk. And I think we'll learn a lot by the Sarasota Master Plan, and hopefully we'll be able to get it rolling. And it is on the CIP. It's on here. It's listed as unassigned, but we wanted to
we
put it
made
on there.
sure, yeah.
So at least we're having the discussion, and it doesn't get forgotten about. So.
Well, I want to thank you guys for doing it for a joint meeting and doing the presentation you did. I do want to echo the comments from our council members, from my colleagues, that I would really encourage any type of future planning, putting numbers, whatever it is. We really want to hear from you guys, the commission, and where to start. Another thing that we've engaged in is we've met with the school district. And so if there's any other potential, we talked about activities, we talked about doing joint programs, putting it on the agenda. That's also another asset that we could use, identifying constraints, identifying needs that the community needs. So that's just throwing it out there. I mean, you guys are doing a fantastic job. And I want to make sure that we support this commission just like we would any commission in improving and doing the correct modifications that we need to do to improve our recreation, not just for the youth, which is very important, but for my age or for seniors or whoever it is. We all have to be active in one way or another. And then I'll turn it back to any further comments, or Chair Rylander for final comments.
No, I just want to say thank you, and I can't thank the recreation staff enough for doing such a great job. And Steve, thank you.
And I do want to just announce that we did get a resignation letter from Chair Rylander.
Cry.
She's going to
Cry
be truly missed, and they're going to be big shoes to fill. So we want to, on behalf of myself and the council, I just want to say how much we appreciate your
Give him a cry.
participation.
Thank you.
I'll be on that side now.
So,
Yeah.
and with that, we'll have Chair Rylander end the meeting.
Thank you. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank